We had our end of school year mass last week, and each of our school masses, one of the students gives us what's called a Salesian reflection, just something from their life, out of the life of Francis de Sales, that they want to share with their classmates. And this mass was done by a student that went with me to Jamaica. And one of the things he wanted to talk about goes so well to this gospel. And it was on the last day, one of the builders, one of the Jamaican builders, they call him Blocks, because he's really good with blocks. It's not a clever name, he's a good builder. But Blocks looks at Charlie and says, yeah, man, how will I remember you? How will I remember you? And Charlie, in explaining to me, was like, I wasn't sure what he meant by that. If you've traveled to foreign countries, particularly developing countries, people often ask for a remembrance of you. And that means they want something. Not necessarily money, by the way, but they want something of you. And it could be something very simple, but they want a remembrance of you. And it is a beautiful thing. They want something to remind them and connect that thing, whatever it is, to you. And so Charlie was a little taken back, like, wait, what do you mean? How will I remember you? Because immediately he just took it in the deepest sense of like, almost like God speaking through Blocks to say, how are you to be remembered? After having spent a week here trying to live with and love and serve and be served by Jamaicans, it's coming right at you. How will I remember you? And how he answered that was his whole reflection, and I'm not going to give it to you. But it was really good, I'll tell you that. I just want to connect. Basically, he pointed to this heart on his shirt, because some of you are going to go, I need to know what happened. He pointed to this heart on his shirt that also had the word family underneath it, and he said, this is how you'll remember me. And he's like, yeah, man, one family, one love. But here's Peter with Jesus, and Jesus has this simple sentence that's so short and multi-layered. Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Do you love me more than these? You have to put yourself in the moment to go, what's he talking about? What are the these in this sentence? One could quickly point out that where did they just come from? I'm a teacher, I'll wait all day. Quite comfortable with silence. They went fishing. That in of itself is interesting, isn't it? All that's happened, all that they've been through with this guy. He died. This is the third time. This is the third time they see him, which means they've already seen him twice. And Peter's, the opening of this story, I'm going fishing. What? Why? Whatever. But you could easily see Jesus saying, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Boats, nets, fish. Do you love me more than these? Because for each of us, I think, there are times when we go back to our old ways for any number of reasons. Maybe we just feel uncertain. Maybe we feel ashamed. Whatever it is, fear, it can take any number of forms. That whatever it is we think we're doing for God, as we're going down that journey, there's just something that causes us to go back to our boats. So that's one way this question would have hit Peter. And you can imagine Peter, when Jesus says it this way, going, wait, what are we talking about? Do you love me more than these? These boats? Sure. Do you love me more than these people do? Right? Is another way. But before we get to that one, how about, do you love me more than these people? Do you love me more than these people? Because if Jesus isn't our first love, all the other loves in our lives are going to be disordered. They're just going to be disordered. That if we're putting something first before God, before the relationship to Jesus, that's where I think the disorder always comes in anything else we talk about. That we want to make sure, no, I got to put God first. And it stems off the first one. If God isn't first in my life, then I will quickly go back to what I know first or best. It feels more comfortable. But God keeps calling us back to following him. What were the last two words of this gospel? Follow me, right? So begin with the end in mind. That's where we're going. We're going to be following him. But Jesus sets that up. Do you love me more than these? The boats, the nets, your old way of life? Do you love me more than you love these people? Am I first in your life, Peter? And then the one that just cuts to the heart. Do you love me more than they do? Because don't forget how strongly Peter put it in the midst of that Holy Week. All may fall away, Lord, but I will not abandon you. Wah, wah. You did not. And Jesus doesn't bring this up to shame him. He brings it up to heal him. He has to confront it, right? He has to confront it. And so he just brings it up to say, here's your chance. Here's your chance to make it right. Because in the end, the kind of proof that Jesus wants from us isn't promises, isn't words, it's just action. That's why every time Jesus asks the question, Peter gives an answer, and Jesus gives an action to be done. Do it. And not selective service, by the way, right? Serve, love all of my people. Do that work. That's the difficult. But there it is, this multi-layered message. And I hope we don't leave it at Peter's feet. I hope we bring it to our own lap and hear Jesus say to us, do you love me more than these? Your old ways, your comfortable spaces, your comfort zones? Do you love me more than that? There's one. Do you love me more than you love others? Am I first in your life? Because if I am, all the other loves, all the other passions will be ordered correctly. And we'll find more peace in that experience. And then, do you love me more than others? Others love me, right? And to say, okay, Lord, that's what I want. That's where I want to go. And Jesus says, then here's the action that will show it. Jesus meets them at a charcoal fire. By the way, right, we could go on and on. Where was Peter standing when he denied Jesus? A charcoal fire. Poor Peter, you're out in the boat, and John going, I think that's the Lord. Oh, goodness. And then you get to shore and go, oh, really, charcoal fire? Really? Just going to rub it right in. But he meets him at a charcoal fire with bread and fish, as he's going to meet us at this altar with bread and wine. And as we come to this table, we know, like Peter, we do not come worthily. We've got our whole list of things that we know is us not loving him more than our things, more than others, and more than others love him. And yet the invitation is the same. Just do it. Feed my sheep. Love my people. Love yourself. Come to this altar. Sit a while with Jesus at a, we don't have any charcoal, but we have some fire. But to see the invitation that isn't calling us to shame, but is calling us to healing. To love him a little better today, to serve him a little more faithfully today in the ones that he places in our lives. And then, as I said, beginning with the end in mind, plain and simple, and yet very scary to do, follow me. And if he's not our first love, then we probably aren't going to follow him. We just aren't. But if he is indeed our first love, then we have nothing to fear, and we follow him wherever it is that he will take us. There's a lot in my own life that I have to go, oh man, there's a lot of things that are unsettled and things that I'm trying to figure out how they're going to unfold or how they're going to end, and I want to control them, and I want to go back to my old ways. And I hear this invitation for you and I this morning to come to this altar, to sit a while with him, to eat with him, to eat of him, so that we can leave here to follow him more closely. May God be praised.